Hello, I'm Louisa. Welcome to my weekly intuitive astrology show where I help people get clearer about their lives and know the next best step to focus on. If you've ever wondered why certain patterns seem to hold you back, then this show is for you. Join me today as I explore the planets of 4 individuals with burning questions and share planetary insights for all. Hello there, how are you? I hope you're well. I can see we've got people joining us in the chat room already. My name's Louisa Tanner Munson, and this is the Ask Louisa show where I aim to answer the questions of at least 3 people using astrology. I've had a form out that's been out all week that you can apply for. So I've got my names all in a hat. I actually do have a helper just stood to the side of me, just adding in the last few people as we speak. So I'm going to be pulling names out of a hat and doing a little short read for them of approximately 20 minutes. Thank you, my love. Got a cup of tea. I've got loads of people working on my behalf. How good is that? Can it get any better than this? So I'm wondering how you're all feeling. Are you feeling into the energy of it right now? Because we have got a new moon coming up. We've got a new moon coming up on the 29th of January. It's a very powerful new moon. And although everyone's given me what they would like to concentrate on with their readings, I'm also going to be considering it from the position of a new moon. So I've got a little handout in front of me with all the new moons and full moons for this year ahead. And so I'm going to be absolutely checking in, zoning in with your birth chart just to see if there are any correlations. Have you got any planets that are aligning to the new moon or full moon in this year ahead? Because they are likely to be really good turning points. So before I get going, I just want to say hello to a few different people. First of all, can you all hear me okay? Just double checking, because we've got a bit of a storm going on, and oh, someone's liked that. I'm going to take that as a thumbs up. That's really helpful. So let's say hello. We've got Maria Angelo joining us. Hi there. Let us know where you're from as well, because I like to know how far we are spreading. Got Penny Albertella joining us from the UK. I know where Penny lives. Got Jodie Lee joining us, I believe, from London, saying hi, Louisa and everyone. Hi. Penny saying back, like, hello, Jodie. So it's all very, very friendly. We got Spatz joining us. It's morning in New Zealand, so I hope it's looking nice for you there. Got my good friend Whitney joining me. I can hear you. Hi, Whitney. Hope you're doing well. I've also got loads of people coming in now. Kat Alexandrova. Yes, you can hear me. Thank you. Welcome to the show. Penny saying, yes, can hear you fine. Kat's joining us from, I don't know what that WI stands for, but somewhere from the United States. We've got Jade Roscoe joining us from Houston in Texas. Hiya. Black Moon Jesus, not for the first time today either. Hello, lovely. Black Moon Jesus had a reading last week, in fact. Cole Munson, my husband, is saying, sounding great, nice radiator. Oh, my radiator's in view. Yeah, I mean, this is winter in Portugal, and it's peeing it down. It's really, really cold, so I'm just trying to keep warm. I've got a cat next to me as well. Got Nadia. Hi from Nadia and Mark from Essex. Hey, I've seen that you've entered, so I hope it all goes well for you. Jay Walker joining us. Hi there. Mother Mulberry's Tea Club. Hi all. And yeah, Kat's joining us from Wisconsin. Thank you very much. I'll remember that for future. Can we see the cat? Do you know what? I will show you right at the end. If you remind me, I'll show you at the end of the show. She's a really narky cat. And boy, oh boy, if I let her like wake up right now, she'll walk all over the place. So I don't want to do that. Carl is saying, we do have a storm here. Fingers crossed for a continued transmission. Yes, we are not risking our lives, but we are in the middle of an electric storm. So hopefully everything's going to go okay. Fingers crossed. So what I'm going to do is, just behind the scenes while I'm still chatting, I'm going to start launching the technology I need. And you might have used this yourself. It's called astro.com. It's a fantastic website that you can go to. It's free to use. It's really, really intuitive. I just find it absolutely super duper. 1 second, I need to remember my log on. Hopefully that'll work. Let's fingers crossed. Yes, it does. And so what I'm going to be doing is pulling a name out of the hat and then going to obviously create the birth chart. Now, obviously, we've got a lot of different people coming in with lots of different and exciting and interesting conundrums that they're going through. I will, to the very best of my ability, try and tune in to the exact thing that you're really looking for. However, in a 20-minute reading, I might not be able to get to the complete complexity. So I'm absolutely going to do my best. And fingers crossed it all goes well. I've got just a few more messages and then I'll get going. So Mother Mulberry's joining us from South Africa. Christina S is from Oklahoma. It's lovely. Nadia is saying, Black Moon Jesus, watched your chart last time. We share the same birthday. It's fantastic. And Jodie Lee saying, yes, I love AstroSeek and it is the best free site in my opinion. Actually, I've got astro.com and astro-seek in front of me, so I'll probably play around with those. I'm also joined by a lovely Sarah Taylor, who I had a gorgeous chat with yesterday. Don't know if you've seen, I've got another show called The Moment. Of course, I should say this program is going out on New Reality TV, and you can find that www.newrealitytv.com. For the time being, I'm putting this to my YouTube channels and Facebook, just while New Reality TV brings in an audience and gets off the ground, gets on its feet, gets momentum. And then eventually it will be a show for New Reality TV. And Sarah was on my other show called The Moment, and she's brilliant. So if you haven't seen that already, she gives some amazing advice for staying calm and chill in these really quite difficult times. In fact, there's a lovely, lovely meditation that she does throughout it. We've also got Ronnie Turner saying, good evening, good people. Hi, Ronnie. Where are you from? I know I've got your application. Spatz says, yes, I did submit. Yeah, I've seen yours as well. Nadia saying, cool. Birthday buddy. Birthday buddies are cool. I know a few. It's always weird when you meet somebody the same date of birth as you, I think, or the time of birth. Okay, I'm going to pull out my first. I'm wishing you all luck, by the way. I did have a little chill out and set the intention that what needs to come out will come out beautifully. So the first person I'm going to be looking at and helping today is Ivon Kent. So I'm just going to put in her details. In fact, I'm going to share my screen because that would be helpful. Hang on 1 second. This is where it gets a little bit fiddly because I'm trying to think loads of things at the same time. So let's just double check I've done that. Okay, so this is astro.com. This is the one that I use because I think it's really, really great. So we've got Yvonne. So I'm just typing in her name. It's really, really easy to set up your birth chart. If you haven't already done it, I really recommend that you do it. So Yvonne's wanting to know, what is my year ahead? What do I need to know? It's a really great question. Her birthday is the 30th of May, 1960. And born at 10:45 in the morning in an interesting place called Humboldt, if I've got that right, Humboldt with a T on the end, in Canada. There we go. So what I'm going to do, I'm not going to put anything in, but there are lots of different options that you can pop in if you want to. Actually, I'm going to put in Chiron because he's worth putting in, and the vertex. And I also want to put in something called the nodes and the descending node. So I've got the north node and the south node. So let's have a look at Yvonne's chart now. I'm also going to bring in the transits, the current positions. So I'm just double checking. I'm not going to be able to see anyone's messages for a moment or two, but I will come up back to those very, very shortly. So Ivon, this is for you. So what is my year ahead? What do I need to know? Okay. So in the middle here, this is your chart. This is the position of your sun, your moon, Pluto, for instance. That's in a very important place in your chart. These are known as the angles. And these are known as the houses, and each different segment of these is almost like a pizza. Each of these segments rules a different part of your life. Then on the outside here in the green symbols, we've got the current positions of the planets at the same time. So really for me, my job here is to interpret, the relationship of the current position of the planets with your birth chart. And like I said, I'm also going to be considering it from the perspective of all the different moons in this year ahead. The first thing I want to do, though, I notice that there is this lovely conjunction between Venus and the Sun. Now, Jupiter currently is really, really close to the Sun, which is nice. You just had Jupiter going over Venus and the Sun, and I always think that starts to lift us up a little bit. It's also in your 10th house, which is really, really helpful. So I always think that gives us a little bit of a break, a little bit of a feeling of well-being, and a feeling of possibility, which I would say is really quite helpful for you. And also what I notice, and this is quite interesting, because you're asking, what do I need to know? Well, yeah, you've got Uranus really, really close to your midheaven. Now, this point here, where it says MC, it stands for midheaven. It is a point of our career. It's the point of how we stand in the world, how we earn our living, what we're known for, what we might be respected for, how we might be as an authority in our life, and also our reactions to authority figures. Now, having Uranus here, Uranus is a bit of a disruptor. Uranus represents consciousness at its most expanded form. Uranus also shows change, innovation, freedom, independence, and a real sort of like deep-seated need for something new, something innovative. Now, Uranus was right on. In fact, Uranus and Jupiter were right on this point in April of last year. In April, I think April the 21st, 2024. If I've got that right, it's a miracle. Because, can you imagine trying to hold on to loads of different planetary positions in your head, for years and years? So, off the top of my head, I think these guys were both here on top of your career, literally at the most. One of the I would say 7 most important points in your chart. And when Jupiter and Uranus come together, they are giving you insight as to what you might want to get excited about, what you might want to lead on change with, how you might blow your life up. Now, I don't mean that sort of, in a negative way, but how you might catch the wind or catch a flavor of something really exciting, and then think, okay, this is my next big thing. This is what I'm going to go for. Now, what's interesting to me is both Jupiter and Uranus are going to be changing signs in this year ahead. And I would say that when both of them are changing signs, they're both going to have a bit of a knock-on effect. They're going to be reminding you of this energy. So I wonder what was going on for you around that time of late April of last year, because whatever was going on, was a consideration of something that you might need to feel free, to feel excited, to feel like you're ready for change. And B, you may well have come up with some ingenious idea that you weren't quite ready to launch, but you got excited about. So that's the first thing. Now, Jupiter, has been going through your 10th house. That usually coincides with a time when things are getting exciting, and when new opportunities are coming up, and also where you can step into your own authority. Now, he is going to be leaving your 10th house and going into the sign of Cancer and into your 11th house, I think off the top of my head, on the 9th of June, 2025. So you've got almost half a year left of building your opportunities in terms of your work. Where he's going to be going to, and I think this is significant, he's going to be going into a place to do with networks, and interesting opportunities because of your connections. So if you are wanting to raise the game on your career or whatever it is that you are known for and what is exciting in your life, then I would start building opportunities now to network, to get further afield, to build a kind of tribe of people helping you. And really focus on that, because the more you are doing to bring that in behind the scenes, the more you're going to kind of fly from, the 9th of June. That's really going to come in as a strong opportunity. And by July the 7th, Uranus is going to have moved away from your midheaven, but is going to be dancing around here, very, very close to your Venus, which brings in lots of exciting opportunities. Now, if you are single, and I don't know, obviously, because I've never worked with you before, that I'm aware of, if you're single, this could bring up a quite a strong and interesting attraction at work, quite a surprising one. But if that's not going on, I really see that you are almost being seen as really fortunate. It's a bit of a lucky break. So I do think you're in a phase of luck, a lucky break, kind of breaking through whatever boundaries are holding you back. And really what's initiating it is your feeling of optimism, hope, possibility, your feelings of absolute openness to explore and absolutely like bring in more of it. The more you can think what else is possible, which I know Sarah's watching. That's a great question that Sarah puts to me quite a lot. What else is possible? How does it get any better than this? You can also hear those kinds of questions from Access Consciousness, which I absolutely recommend you do. But anything that can help you focus in on things that are maybe bigger, like draw a bigger line next to your current plan, like make it really big, like super big, because you never know when, you create something bigger than you can possibly imagine. I think, and I'm a Sagittarius, by the way, so I'm like always like firing arrows into the sky. If you fire enough of them, some of these great, big, crazy ideas are going to stick. So I think that's the first thing. The last thing I want to share with you, I mean, obviously, in a birth chart, there's so much you could talk about. So, I can't go too in depth, but the other thing that I would say is, from the, and this is again, a bit more of a relationship nudge. Saturn is going to be leaving your 7th house soon, in the next, oh, hang on. Actually, no, not actually. That's not where I want to go. Actually, I want to go into the possibility here. There's a lot of activity around this point here. So you've got Neptune crossing over this point at the end on the 30th of March, and Saturn crossing over this point on the 25th of May. And lots of other things going on with Mercury. Now, Mercury is your ruling planet, by the way, because your ascendant's in the sign of Virgo. But Mercury is going to be going retrograde over this point at the same time as Venus. And it's going to be, like Mercury rules your body and your identity, and Venus is ruling your career. So these two are going to be going over this point. It's in the 8th house. So this is the last thing. Wherever you are held back from old psychological views of yourself, where you have like kind of decided, oh, this is what I'm capable of because of this, and this, or maybe there's some things from the past that you're a bit embarrassed about. Hopefully not. You're born in 1960, so I'm guessing a lot of the mistakes you've made were before Facebook and social media, so you might have got out of jail free there. But anything that you felt a little bit embarrassed by or ashamed by or blamed for, anywhere where you've kind of lowered your expectations because you feel just like you can't step into your power, that's what's worth working on. If you can also, as you're feeling into the bigness and the largesse of your new possibilities, if you can also work on what is holding you back, go to areas of pain for yourself where you feel like you're not good enough because of something happening. It's worth reviewing that. And I would say between the 2nd of March and the 13th, 14th of April, there's going to be 2 retrogrades going on during that time, Mercury and Venus. Not a good time to make decisions, but it's a fantastic time to really go deep. If you've got the resources and the inclination to go and get like a coach, like a business coach, but one that's going to look at your psychology, I absolutely think that could really help you. So I hope that's helpful to you. Sending you lots and lots of love. and luck for an interesting year ahead. I hope that's helpful for you. So I'm just going to come back into the chat room and just say hello to some other people. Where are we? So Ronnie saying hello. Spatz, yeah, I did support send in a form. Jodie Lee is saying, I need to catch up on the podcast. Sounds exactly what I need right now. Is it just me? The past 2 weeks have been crazy. You know what, Jodie Lee? I was in tears a few times in this last week, like really feeling like I was having a breakdown. And the funny thing is, once I kind of articulated what I was feeling, almost overwhelmed by, things started to shift. But no, you are not on your own for sure. I'm pretty sure other people are going to be nodding and saying, oh yeah. Cheryl Murray is saying, hi everyone. Hi to you. Any Sagittarius around? Me. Jacqueline Branco. Hi, Jacqueline. I hope you're well. Makeup Therapy's joining us as well. Another Scorpio ascendant, if I've remembered that correctly. Jodie Lee, I agree. Astro is great for the extended chart selection. It really is. I'll be hopefully doing some teaching sessions on that soon. Howdy Partner from JS here today is saying, I filled out the paperwork, but probably just need to book a reading. I don't know here today, because I don't know if that's the name you booked under. I didn't see a here today, but who knows? Let's see what happens. We've got Frida Bell Smith. Does my man really love me? Do you know what? I don't know. And unless you've entered your details into the form that I had before the show, I won't be able to answer that today. But who knows? You could submit that question for next week. Hi, Penny. We've got Rare here. Hello. Jodie Lee is saying, Louisa, the way you pack so much in a short reading is really impressive. Amazing. You know, I've had quite a few years of practice at doing this. Claire Mary saying, hey, hi, hope you're well. Rare is saying, yes, my name's Rafaela. Good luck on that. Moonsag here. Jewel Tarot saying, hey, Makeup Therapy is, I was crying in those days too. If you are a Scorpio ascendant, I really think, you know, the Pluto-Mars opposition is really creating some hassles. In particular, the fact that Mars, our ruling planet, is retrograde. I do look forward to some ease. I have to say, it's been quite hard. If you know your ascendant, and if you've got Scorpio ascendant, let us know if you're feeling a bit challenged at the moment, because I really have. And also Aries ascendant, or Aries sun, or Scorpio sun, because, you know, Mars at the moment retrograde. It's very difficult to move forwards when you're feeling like you can't quite do it. You know, we need the Mars energy to keep us going. So I hope you're feeling better now. A saggy sun here. We're in good company, aren't we? Another saggy, as Anna. Carl is saying, by the way, Robert Yonker joins the moment tomorrow. Please join us on New Reality TV. A shameless plug there from my husband, but please do join us. And Mother Mulberry saying, the universe seems to be backlogged. I should fill out a form or two. Oh my goodness. Let's see who is going to come in now. Yes, I have my ascendant in being of Scorpio. Christina, Aries rising here is almost broke me. I'm so sorry to hear that. But, you know, we are absolutely doing this together. We really are. Just realized I said I was going to look at the moons, and actually I didn't, because I was so in the moment with Ivon. It didn't count, and something else came up. Hey, Izzy. Right, let's bring on another... Let's bring on, oh, we're getting loads of details here about people. Let's bring on another question. Okay, so, oh, you know, I know there are some people who really, really do want a reading. I really hope that comes about for you if you really need it. So let's, okay. I'm going to be looking at the chart now of Julian from Chattanooga. I'm guessing that's Tennessee, is it? TN? Tennessee. Okay. Terrible with accents. Let's see what I can do. So I need to add a new person. And now I'm going to bring it back on the screen again, just so you can see again how to add another person. So let's have a look at Julian's chart. I'm guessing Julian is a male name. If I've got that wrong, please forgive me. So 27th of September, 1993 at 20:38 in the evening, and Chattanooga, Chattanooga. You can see how slow I am at typing. Tennessee. Okay. Oh, bless you. Sorry to say that straight away, but bless you. You've got your moon in Pisces, and that can be quite. Look at the difference. Can you see the difference in how Julian's chart looked in comparison to Yvonne's? You know, like Julian's got all of his details all around this edge. So he's really living life in like one part of his chart almost. Well, it is all within, Chiron isn't technically a planet, but I absolutely love Chiron. I always include Chiron. He's the wounded healer, but literally, within 181 degrees of everything. Like Julian, this is called a bowl formation in terms of astrology. And Julian's got moon in Pisces, which absolutely it's where my moon is. And if you've got your moon in Pisces, let us know. I mean, are you absolutely super psychic? Do you really feel everything? Do you sometimes feel the emotions of the other people around you? I mean, it's almost like you're not mind reading, you're like psyche reading. You're like reading their like whole life. You're feeling it. I mean, it's super, super psychic, and it can be very, very difficult for somebody with Pisces moon, very, very tender. Ascendant in the sign of Taurus. So Venus is the ruler of your chart. The upcoming Venus retrograde is going to be interesting for you. So we'll have to have a look at that for you. And you've got your sun in Libra. Libra is also another, I mean, these are all very peaceful signs, kind of passive signs. Like the sun in the sign of Libra is also ruled by Venus. So we've got, Venus, and like Venus ruling the ascendant, Venus ruling the sun, and a whole heap of planets here. And then Jupiter and Neptune ruling the moon. This is really, really interesting. Thank you for writing in. So you're saying help. Okay. With Mars on the descendant, that's here. So here's Mars at 0 degrees and his descendant is at 1 degree. The descendant is the angle to do with relationships and partners. So this here, these lines always go in polarities. So the ascendant is about you, like Julian, and Julian's body and Julian's boundaries. And then everything over on this side is everyone that is not Julian. So everyone that Julian encounters and might project onto, which we all do. But it also has a lot to do with our relationships and how easy it is for us to relate to other people. So anyway, let me carry on. So with Mars on my descendant, attraction of circumstances and intimate relationships. Should I stay away from intimate relationships or careers that actively involve working with others? Well, that's interesting, isn't it? That's an interesting question. It depends, right? Okay. See, here's the thing. Where do I go with this? Let me just, I tell you what, I'd love for you guys to put what you think Julian should do, because I think this is as much about astrology as it is also about opinion. Because I've fallen in, like, the two partners, like my husband and also my previous partner, I was working with them, the vibration, like when you're being yourself, when you're really in your vibration, you often attract a partner in work. It's one of the easiest ways to attract a partner. But of course it can go wonky, should the relationship go badly, which, lots of relationships don't stand the test of time. If you're somebody who takes things very personally at the end of a relationship, that could be very difficult. I do notice here, with your moon in opposition to Chiron, that you are really, really sensitive and quite easily, I would say, triggered by your emotions. Obviously we all are, but this is very, very sensitive. I know very delicate souls who like struggle to get over a past hurt and find it really difficult to move on and to really process their feelings. Like they get stuck in loops of you can end up torturing yourself, and obviously that's not going to help you. So maybe a bit of caution, but let's examine your whole chart and get a real feel for it. Maybe it would be easier for me to describe who you might want to get involved with and not necessarily put a place of work in there until right at the end, because, you know, you've got your Sun, Jupiter, Mercury, and Mars in your 6th house. The 6th house is quite a practical place. It's the place of your home, not your home, but like how you manage your home life, how you manage your work life, how you manage your diet, your exercise regime, if you have one, and also how you manage your money. I mean, you know, this part of your chart is very heavily dominated, and it is really about managing a smooth existence and having a nice sense of balance. And with your Sun in Libra, that would really imply that you really do like things to be peaceful, like completely peaceful, and to not have your balance rocked too much. And then seeing your Moon in Pisces, knowing that you're picking up lots of things from different people, that can obviously make it very difficult to work with someone that you're emotionally involved in, because you might, especially if it goes terrible, you may well be picking up on what they're feeling and trying to process that in work. That could be very difficult. So I do acknowledge that's probably difficult. So I do think having the right environment is super important to you. So it's a really good question. And actually, you know, now I'm thinking about it and not applying my own chart to this, I do think you would be better to manage them separately. But here's the thing. None of us actually know where we're going to meet our partner. And that implies that, you know, you could have a partner at work and you could have one over here. And, you know, I do think we are at choice as to who we have a relationship with. And yet I'm also a massive believer in the magic of life, and that, you know, when somebody with the unique coding that matches yours, like with a birth chart that absolutely pings with yours, and, you know, like there's a real strong resonance, that there's nothing that's going to keep you apart. I mean, again, I'm applying my own chart. Like when I am absolutely magnetized towards somebody and I feel it, they feel it, nothing's going to keep us apart, even if we're working together or not. And so, you know, I also think there is an argument to really go with what your body is saying and what evolves. If you have these rules as to who you're going to get involved in and who you're not, you may well miss out on something really, really beautiful. Now, here's one area I do think is worth exploring. And again, this would say maybe not, because Neptune and Uranus are exactly in the same place, and they're really, really close to the midheaven. So like Neptune is very much about your creativity, about your deeply spiritual soul. And, you know, you have a very sort of different and distinct vibration to most people. Uranus as well with that gives you this really psychic energy, like it's like you're wide open. Even though it's in the sign of Capricorn, which would like close you down, you know, like Capricorn tends to kind of like dull your ability to tune in so much. But, you know, these two at 18 degrees in that very tight conjunction, in a, you know, conjunction with your midheaven, could bring up lots of deep change, surprising changes, unusual changes in terms of your career. So here's what I would also add in, and that is, if you've got an unusual career, and you're expressing your energies all the time, your very sort of significant different energies within your work and within your being, if you're able to be your unique self, then I don't think it matters so much, because you're not really going to probably live a life that is the standard Monday to Friday, 9 to 5. You know, the kind of life you're going to live is asking you to be different and to stand for something different and to explore with the absolute deep yearning to be yourself that you're really, really craving. So you may well not find yourself like eyeing somebody up over the water cooler. You're much more likely, I would say, the more independent you can be within your business so that you are free, so that you're not being invaded by other people's emotions that you're picking up on, that would make it much easier for you to work alongside a colleague and have a relationship with them, or maybe that you're sort of connected. I think the more you can work in a career that offers you the freedom to move around, the freedom to interact in your own unique way, the higher the opportunity there is for you to be able to have a relationship with somebody. But I would say the more normal your working environment is and the less creative it is, the more working with your partner is likely to bring up chaos and change. So I hope that's helpful. I'm not entirely sure if that answers your question. There's a couple more things I would like to say. Given that you've got your Mars in a conjunction with your descendant, I would say it is interesting because your descendant's in the sign of Scorpio and Mars is a ruler of Scorpio. So that's actually giving you a lot more power in terms of your relationships. Also, Pluto is a co-ruler of Scorpio, also in the sign of Scorpio. So you do have a very strong and passionate and loyal and all-encompassing kind of relationship. Again, that creates a kind of heaviness and a fixedness in your relationships that may well destabilize a very sort of grounded and regular working environment. So again, I think if you and your partner to be were kind of collaborators on some creative project, it's much more likely to work. Lots of people end up working with their partners, and as they're going through life, it's almost like a mission. So again, if you're on a kind of mission in your life, that's so much more likely to occur. Now, currently we have this Pluto and Mars opposition, which is really, really hard for anyone with a strong Scorpio energy. And with Mars and Pluto both in Scorpio, I would say you absolutely qualify for that. So you might find that relationships are just a bit edgy at the moment anyway. These will come out of their opposition on the 27th of April. And to add into that, your Mars right now, and let me just find out where he is. Mars right now is retrograde. I'm going through your fourth house. And so I think that's kind of destabilizing how you feel about yourself. You might not be feeling quite so certain, and you might not have as much energy as usual. So you may find that you're a bit like catastrophizing about emotions at the moment. So what I would say is, if you are single at the moment, don't enter into anything too heavy. Like maybe after the 24th of February, when Mars goes forwards again, that would free up your energy. But then, like after the 27th of April, the opposition between Mars and Pluto will come out of the opposition, and you will feel so much freer. So you might find that by the end of April, this isn't even something that you're worried about. So I hope that's helpful. That's such a great question. I really, really thank you for that. Let's see what other people are saying. Where are we? So yeah, Virgo rising, Gemini moon. So people are adding lots of things in. Anna's saying, I need a break and care. Bless you. Yeah, I felt that too. We've got Izzy's giving us a lot of information about themselves. Would love a reading. Thank you. Izzy, you have to apply. So every week you can send all of your details to me. I mean, you might have already applied, and if so, maybe I'll pick you out in my final selection. But if there's a link below the show notes, and if you go there, you'll be able to apply in future. Newbie is joining us finally on my lunch break. Hey there, hi my darling, how are you? New reality TV, woohoo! We love you. I love you too. I love your new appointment, by the way. Thank you for that email. Jodie Lee is saying, as a Libra rising, North Node and Chiron, I'm not looking forward to Venus going retro. Oh, I didn't mention that. Julian, if you're still listening after this, listen to what I say about Venus going retro, because that is likely to affect you. Exciting to see what Jupiter ingressing into Cancer will bring. Yeah, I'm excited about that. And of course, you've got Cancer Sun. That will be very helpful. Tabitha is saying hello. Hi to you. We got loads of people joining us today. Cosmic Fern Tree. G'day, gorgeous souls. Grateful to be here. I'm getting the idea of maybe someone from down under. Tabitha, I got here late. What did I miss? 2 readings. but you can always whiz back and listen again. Nadia saying you can still rewatch once the live has finished. I've never done that actually, but I'm sure you can. First time catching the live, how do we submit questions? You'll see details at the bottom, and I will, at the bottom of the description, there's a form that you fill in, and each week if you submit your question, and then I pick a name out of this hat. So maybe next time, but please do listen in. I often find that there's something in each of the messages, so you may well, in fact, Claire Mary saying loved that one. So yeah, you often get something even if it's not for you. Homeschool Time is saying economically people are a bit rough around the edges. Be respectful in public. Depression incoming fast. Cheers. Okay, Homeschool Time. I hope you're doing well. Jodie saying, yeah, there's a form. Everyone's helping each other out. That's great. Black Moon Jesus is saying, read Julian. With my experience of Libra and Pisces, they are very difficult signs for emotions. Yeah, I would agree. Thank you for that. Oh, we've got lots coming in here. Libra makes the planets be behind your body and really far from the emotional interpolation center of the body, and the emotions never turn off. Pisces puts you far in your head, and it's only the forehead up that's allowed on the experience. In this dark matrix prison, these are the two of the hardest signs to have energies. Yeah, I mean, I've got such a Pisces thing. I can attest to that. Your guide has spent time focusing on these energies for you, and you will begin to feel relief tomorrow when Uranus and Mars sextile. This is quite helpful because Black Moon Jesus is a psychic, so we're getting double help here. You will know what to do with your life. You are loved and important. Doesn't get any better than that. Thank you so much. Right, let's pull out another person to do a reading for, and let's see if something else useful comes up. So the last person I'm going to look for, then again, I didn't even check the moons, but maybe I'll talk about this a little bit at the end. Okay, so Spatz, you wanted me to have a look, and it's your time. Okay, so let's go and add you. So I'm going into add another person, and Spatz. Okay, Spatz is a female. I'm glad I read your description, because I would have thought with Spatz it sounds like a nickname to me. You know how we make assumptions. When I saw Spatz, I just thought, oh, that's a male. So my apologies. 0310. This is interesting. So Spatz is actually born in Fiji. Okay. And I'm hoping I can find, yes, I found. So again, you put in your time, place, and date of birth. Now, Spatz is asking for, again, look at Spatz's chart. Again, like Spatz has all of their planets, or actually, they've got a very sort of like tight, sort of very tightly focused set of energies there, especially here. Wow. Yeah, you've got very interesting energy. So Spatz is saying, what do you see about future children, parenting? I did IVF and will be a single mum by choice. Okay. Well, first of all, congratulations on making decisions. There was a time when I was also thinking about going down that route myself. And I know it's not something you decide lightly. There's a lot to think about, isn't there? I'm going to put in. So what I love about astro.com, and this is what Jodie Lee was saying, you can put lots of extra things in. So there's over like 24,000 different named asteroids. I wonder if there's a Spatz. Let's have a look. Just curious. Now, obviously, asteroids are different. They're not planets, but Just seeing if there's something like that. No. Oh, Spatz. I'm going to put this in to represent you. And I've put Ceres in here. Ceres is known as Mother Earth. She's a goddess, definitely about the earth. She's also known as Demeter. She is a mum. And I always think that Ceres can show us a lot about, whether we might be a mum or not, or how we might mother, and some of the interesting things like that. I'm also going to have a look at your projected chart as well, because your progressed chart, because the progressed moon, I find it very useful in terms of seeing babies come in and out. And again, none of this is guaranteed, but this is me just sharing, some of my thoughts. So the first thing, interesting that the asteroid so close to your name, Spatz, Svati, is so close to the ascendant. This name absolutely was the right name for you, because it really describes your birthing, and the sound of your name is kind of magical. It really holds a lot of energy for you. Now, Ceres, the goddess to do with motherhood, is in the sign of Virgo, which is really, really a place where we can be very earthy and grounded. Like Virgo is a sign to do with natural health and healing. And I don't know if you've had IVF because you couldn't get pregnant or because you didn't have a partner. And they are very sort of different energies. Now, again, I'm not a doctor, and so I don't want to, I'm not giving medical advice, but one of the things that I've noticed about Ceres, especially in these mutable signs, like Virgo and Pisces, Gemini and Sagittarius, but especially with Pisces and Virgo, is your emotions and nerves. Your nervous system can really play into health. And also Ceres in the sign of Virgo. Virgo has a lot to do with the harvest and to do with cereals. So does Ceres. And so I don't know. And again, like I say, I'm not a doctor, definitely not a medical doctor. But, I have seen people with gluten intolerances or sort of allergic food-based dietary allergies come up with Ceres. Now, I haven't got any aspect lines like these lines here connecting Ceres, but I'm going to make the connections. In fact, I'm going to put them in. Hang on one sec. I also want the descending node. Not that. Yeah, that's good. That's good to go. Right. Oh, there's something else I want to add in. There's something else I'm going to put in, and that is I want to put in asteroid child as well. So like for people who are really thinking about children, sometimes I think asteroid child can be quite helpful. So for instance, asteroid child in my chart is connecting to a planet in my husband's chart, really showing him like bringing me the children. It's kind of interesting, but I often think that when something is going over asteroid child, it can describe possibilities and also what might be going on in terms of your thoughts about it. So okay, let's bring in the transits. So I've clicked that, and that's showing us where all the planets are right now. Now, the first thing that I notice about your charts, Svati, is that you've got a lot of energy down here in the second house, which has to do with your ability to conjure up resources, to be resourceful, to bring wealth into your life, and also to share. There's a lot of flow in terms of money coming in and money coming out. What this speaks to me about is receivership, being able to receive things and being comfortable receiving things. And of course, again, I'm not a doctor, but this is I'm an intuitive. And so as I'm checking into this, I'm thinking receivership is a really important subject, especially if you're receiving somebody's sperm or like receiving You know, and I don't know how IVF works exactly. You know, maybe you've got a fertilized egg. I really don't know. I'm I'm showing my ignorance. But, you know, if you're receiving something into you to incubate, you know, to grow and to develop, or, you know, anything where you're receiving into yourself, you absolutely have to open yourself up to the possibility of receiving and being okay with receiving. And of course, that goes even deeper. It goes into deservability. Do you feel like you deserve to be a mom? Do you feel like you deserve the gift of motherhood? And how deeply can you go into that feeling of deservability? That is absolutely critical. That's a really big key, I think, within this. Now, you've also got a really strong level of energy here, Jupiter and the moon in a conjunction together. I've noticed that come up in the charts. In fact, Jupiter and the moon are in a conjunction in my chart. And I always think that gives you a very strong need to create and to create and divide, not like divide people up in a divisive way, but like I see the idea of cells dividing and growing, you know, like there is this multiplicity with you, you know, like this, you know, like you've got one thing, you've got another thing, and then you create something out of there. So I've got this really strong creative drive for you. And it is really driving you. And Mercury is also there. Now, Mercury is ruling Virgo and is also ruling Gemini. So, you know, your Ceres in the sign of Virgo is absolutely affected. Like, so your ability to be fertile, your ability to grow a child, etc. I think absolutely you have to get your mind right. Mercury is all about your nervous system, all about your mind. So the more you can get yourself clear in your mind and also get open to the idea of deserving and receiving and being comfortable with receiving, not just giving. If you're in the energy of give, this is going to be very difficult because you have to receive and hold on and allow everything to grow within you. So that's the first thing. I don't see there being a big problem for you being a single mum by choice. You've got Capricorn rising. Your name is right there, implying that you've got a good sense of personal identity. Your sun in the sign of Aquarius also gives you a desire to be quite independent and to do things a little bit differently. So that gives you a lot of strength. Now, here's the other thing. I also put something called the vertex into your chart, and it's really important to pay attention to the fifth house. So this fifth house is about children. It's a place of our creativity. It's where we're absolutely creating our children and any kind of project that we are wanting to share with the world and to enjoy. You know, the fifth house shows us how we light ourselves up, how we get excited, how we feel a lot more connected to life. Now, this point here, the vertex, is not a planet, it's not an asteroid, but it's an astronomical calculation based on, it's basically an equation. But the vertex, I think, is a very magical place. The vertex shows us what the universe is wanting for us. That's how I interpret it. You know, I think you know, the vertex is showing what you're meant to be doing in life. And so one of the things that will increase your fertility, as far as I can see, and increase your chances of having children, is to do things that light you up, you know, work or have hobbies and take part in things that are lighting you up and making you feel joyful, full of love, and like life is an adventure. So the more you can cultivate that feeling inside you, I think the better. Also, the vertex here is showing that life does want you to be a mum. So to me, that looks really good. That looks helpful. Now, you've also got Chiron in the fifth house. Now, some people might take Chiron to be a bad sign, but I you know, I don't really see things as being bad signs. I just see them as things that we might be developing. Chiron shows us where we've got wounds. And Chiron shows us where we might need to heal. And yours is in the fifth house, which again has to do with your ability to bring children into the world, or the conditions that you might be bringing your child into the world with. And it also talks possibly about your feelings of creativity. Do you feel like you are a creative person? Do you feel like you have creative blocks? So if I was in your shoes right now, I think I would choose to explore how I feel about being a single mum, and just double check that you are completely in alignment with it. That's not to say you can't do it, but anywhere where you're working against yourself, because like you might have 9 beliefs about yourself as a single mum that are really, really positive, but you might have 1 negative belief, and it might be that one that is continuously kind of self-sabotaging. So if I was in your shoes, I would speak to somebody and examine all of your belief systems about being a single mum and about parenting from about getting pregnant via IVF, and examine all of those feelings and get rid of any feelings of regret, shame, embarrassment, anger, or resentment. So if you've got like feelings of hurt and upset because you're not doing it with the partner, I mean, you really might be you might be thinking, why would I want to do that? Partners are a pain in the butt. So anywhere where you're holding resentments or worries or concerns about doing it on your own, if you can allow those to be explored, go deeper into them, and allow yourself to release from those negative beliefs, I think that will really help you. Again, that feeds into Ceres in the sign of Virgo, which is your mind is affecting your body's ability. Also, Ceres in the 9th house, you might find that sperm or IVF situations that are from a different country or where you're located in a different country, to me, there's something foreign about what you're doing. So anywhere where there's a theme of foreign, exotic, again, that's adding an extra, it's like we're turning up the dial of fertility rather than turning it down. And so that's what I'm trying to do with this reading, is how can we turn it up so that you have the very, very best experience. Now, Venus, who is the ruler of your I'm not going to have time to look at your progressed chart today. I'm sorry about this, but I'm hoping what comes forward is helpful. See, Venus is also in a conjunction with Mercury and Jupiter and the moon. And so I really get the feeling that actually you don't probably want one, you probably want a few. Like I could see you with a tribe, there's a friendly energy. There's an energy of sharing, an energy of we're all in this together. This isn't a very sort of solitary feeling I'm getting. So again, anywhere where you can feel that you are sharing, connected, you are examining your joy, and where you can receive from other people. So another exercise that, and then I'll leave this, but another exercise that I would advise you explore is taking and receiving from people, not like robbing people, but like if people are offering you like a coffee or wanting to take you out for a meal, go for it. Don't try to go half and half, 50-50, paying your way. If somebody wants to treat you, can you accept it? Take as many treats as you can. Start accepting, keep accepting energetic gifts, because there's a really, really strong need. Now, this is less astrological and more what I'm tuning into. So I hope that's helpful for you. Last thing, you are going through masses of change. Pluto's gone through your first house for quite some time. It's connecting to the sun in Aquarius. This is really, really strong. Now, I did say I was going to connect to the moons, and this is a really sort of like big connection. So Pluto and the sun, in fact, the new moon on the 29th, I'm going to have to go in a sec, on the 29th this month, like 29th of January, there is a new moon on asteroid Child. So anything that you can do right now, I don't know if you've already done the IVF, but that is a really good time to really focus in on this beautiful new start that you're creating for yourself, and keep at it, keep believing. I hope this has been helpful for you. Right, I'm going to have to cut this short now. There's so many different comments. I'm so sorry I'm not going to get a chance to share them with you. I've only got 2 minutes. I'm going to pick out a few. So Malika Best, hello. I'm trying to figure out when is the best time to initiate a divorce. I'm Virgo, 28th of August. Apply next week. I can't guarantee, but I pick names out of a hat. So it's all equal. Everyone gets a chance. Jody saying, Louisa, loved hearing all the readings. Truly talented and gifted. You deliver your readings with such love. Thank you for all you do. You're so welcome. If a Sagittarius gets a reading next week, we should get a quick break to make the popcorn. Okay. Spatz, I totally get what you're saying about Chiron in my 5th. Yes, I need to control my thinking. I've had to travel to do IVF. Oh, wow. I really appreciate this reading and feel I really needed this today. I should say so. Well, that's so funny that you had to travel to it. I really wish you luck. Please do stay in touch. Mother Mulberry saying comfort in receiving is something we don't talk about or address, in my opinion. This is one of my favorite topics, in fact. I really, really think it's important. Any parents immediately record the birth time for their children? I did. So anyway, thank you for all of your comments today. I hope you found it helpful. I've really enjoyed this. I feel really expanded from this. I really thank you for joining me and for bringing in these amazing questions that have opened up so many new thoughts and possibilities. I wish you a beautiful week ahead. If you would like to have a reading, please do send in your details. The details are below. And yeah, hopefully I'll get to you on another Ask Louisa show real soon. So anyway, thank you so much. God bless and catch you another time. Bye for now. Ooh. Bye. And if you've got a burning question that you'd like me to explore in a future show, then please do get in touch.